Yeah. 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 Now that fall's happening, it's just sort of like. Alrighty, so let's do yeah, we're gonna get the countdown. Yeah, we give the countdown.
Alrighty.
3, 2, 1. Noah, you're up.
I'm up.
Yeah, go. All right, intro.
Up for what? Dude, do you know why I hate Tuesdays? Because on Tuesdays, the Monday Night RPG Talk Show live on the with Dice isn't fucking going on. That's why.
Thought you
Oh,
killed your
God.
mic there for a second.
Woo.
Yeah. I think the auto
Alright.
gain was just like zoop.
Gains? What? Oh, sorry. Wrong gain. Anyway.
Jesus Christ. 1 week. Just one fucking week.
Next topic, Magic the Gathering and wrestling. No. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Degenerates with Dice, the Monday Night RPG Talk Show. Live and loud and in your face. The entire crew is back together because Joe heard about the shit show that happened last week and was like, I'm never letting them do that again unsupervised. The video's been deleted. The video's been deleted. You can't watch it. We don't apologize. It was a shit show. But we're back. Joe, our fearless leader, welcome back.
I am not the leader. I am one of many. I'm glad that you guys stepped up, and I appreciate it.
It's the blind leading the blind.
You are Dungeon Daddy for us and try to keep us in...
you hit the go live button, therefore you are in charge.
I believe you have also hit a go live button, so
yeah, but that's on my stream, and that's not near as important.
No one wants Noah in charge.
I don't know. You have
we
way
all
more
saw what
happened.
Yeah, we saw what happened last week.
So,
Joe,
no, we didn't see what happens last week. No one saw what happened last week.
That's right, and nobody will.
You deleted everything. I wanted to see.
No one ever will.
Oh, no.
It was bad.
Oh, so bad. So bad.
Sorry, I was gone last week. I had some health issues.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. And Jen's here too, because Noah didn't bother to introduce Jen.
Yeah.
You didn't.
I didn't introduce anybody yet.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't introduce anybody.
I got cut off by you, Kristen. Not only do we have Joe,
hey
everybody,
get good, bad.
Hey everybody.
We got Jen up there in the top far right on my stream, and I have no clue where she's at on our stream because
same place.
I haven't pulled that one up yet. Same place. All right, fantastic. And we got that other unimportant person that shall be nameless, especially here. I'm just kidding. It's Kristen.
This week she's
Kristen.
Crippled.
Y'all, shut your mouth, Jen.
She crippling. She crippling.
They see me hobble. They hate me.
Oh, I was gonna say they see her hoeing.
Nobody's hating if I'm hoeing for real.
Hey,
Let's be real.
Oh, there are
some
hoe haters
because I broke my foot.
Yeah, old white women will hate you.
Yeah, they're hoe haters. They never got their phase, and they're jealous.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
I hate old white women.
Yeah, it's like
they're mad on behalf of the actual prostitutes.
Wait, hold on. My wife watches the show. Except my wife. She's the only old white woman I love.
He's not.
Wow.
He's not old.
Hey, there's that mammy chick from wrestling.
Which one?
I don't know the mammy chick. You have the.
He's not old.
Mommy?
She's like my
Rhea
age.
Ripley's younger than I am. Oh my God. Are we about to talk about Rhea Ripley? Holy shit.
Okay, you've just derailed the podcast.
My God.
After.
My God.
Can I go home?
You are home.
Can I be excused from the podcast, please?
I get why people are attracted to her, but she's just not my type. Like the muscle lady thing is just not my jam. But I respect it.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Every night I have a dream about Rhea Ripley putting me in the riptide and then pinning me for the 3 count. It happens. Sometimes my wife's there too.
That sounds wet.
Normally is when I wake up.
Go wash your hands.
Fully focused.
Wash your hands.
So before Kristen
Watch
has an
it.
aneurysm, let's actually talk about RPGs.
Nope.
Hold on.
I
We got to do gaming wins first.
gaming.
But
wins.
technically, isn't wrestling an RPG in and of itself?
It is.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah.
I mean, those people
It
are
is an
playing
RPG.
characters
Yeah.
better than anybody has ever played characters before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the reason I'm so against it is because I want to take away any modicum of happiness you ever have.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're friends. See, like, what y'all don't know is, like, we have this podcast group chat where, like, 95% of it, well, 5% of it is Joe trying to get us on track for what we're going to talk about on the podcast. The other 95 is me and Kristen constantly shitting on each other.
No, 5%.
Constantly.
5% of
it's-
it. There's
it's
another
usually-
5% though that is just me and you talking about wrestling, Magic the Gathering.
It's
That's true, too. But
Didn't I call you a tapeworm today?
you did
Yes.
call me a tapeworm. But, like, the
After you called him a
absolute
parasite.
unhinged roasting that goes on via text and Snapchat in one conversation between two apps
Oh,
is
yeah.
just
We were
chef's kiss.
Snapchatting earlier and talking about sewer rats, me being one of them. So like it's the thing.
It is what it is.
She'd be
That's
Master
friendship,
Splinter. She
I'm
would
telling
take
you
in a group and she would teach them.
Jesus Christ, don't let me teach anything. No, the 6th love language is combat, and I subscribe to that 1000%.
Holy shit.
So gaming
Well,
wins.
That
Anybody
was-
want- I'll go first because I don't have one.
Alright.
So I don't
Yeah.
have a gaming win. I haven't done anything.
You're
in the past
involved
couple
in my
weeks.
gaming win, though. You're
Okay.
involved in my gaming win.
Okay. So my gaming win is Jid's gaming
you
win.
get
I guess
consent?
Jid's go names. Next. Yeah.
Did you get
I
consent?
consensually non-consent.
All right. You two do
You don't know
yours.
me, homie.
I'll go last.
Oh, we're
You don't know me,
up in the
homie.
game here.
Oh shit. Noah, what's your gaming win? You fuck.
Why do I always gotta go?
It's not
This is
first,
part
you
of the
go.
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already.
All right, let's see.
'Cause
My
it's the
gaming
rules,
win.
Fuck you.
All right. So my gaming win is number 1. I was in a situation to where Kristen over here behind the screen knew exactly what she was doing, putting the group into a certain situation. The other 2 people at the table thought that it could definitely go one way, and I was able to make it go the complete opposite way while still playing within the rules of the actual world of narcotics. And watching all 3 of them collectively at the same time just go, what the fuck? Is just, it's a thing of beauty. It is my gift to the world. And I'm incredible at it. And I'm just, since nobody else is going to be in my fan club, I'll continue to be the sole member
You
and the most
toot-
vocal one.
You toot your own horn. Toot, toot.
Well, sometimes when she's not around. But yeah, and then the second part of that was okay, this is not only a gaming win, this is a life win for me. You ready for this? Kristen, do you remember on Wednesday when
Vaguely.
we had to figure out how to get the loot loop set up,
Yes.
right? Okay, so that's what, 30 minutes into the session? Right.
No, it was longer than that.
It was pretty. I mean, it was pretty close to the top. Yeah, it had to be a plan.
It is somewhere like that first quarter to half of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got the idea immediately in my head. And we as a table did one of those 2-hour 5.5 feet forward sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to keep the idea in my head exactly as how I planned all the way to the end where I finally got to
all the way
say
to
the
end.
fucking
That
words.
was the grand finale.
Yeah. I
very proud of
beat
you on that one.
ADHD. I beat ADHD.
You did. You did win ADHD today.
That is a
day.
very good gaming and life win.
Yes.
No, I had to
Yes,
throw in. I'd have to throw you a little bit
I
of
set
bone.
up a
Like,
loot
okay,
loop.
we're gonna just skip through this, so that Noah doesn't have an aneurysm. Yeah. But he did good. He memorized it all, and he did great.
And
He
like,
memorized
no,
it.
no offense to anybody else that was at the table, but like,
All
because
offense.
I have no 100%, like this is all on me, like because I have a little touch of autism and the ADHD, right? Like, and you've got a thought in your head and you have to get it out, right? But
You have
because
the
we're at
super
the
hyper
table and we're
focus.
playing the game, it has to make sense and the thing has to
Mhm.
happen so the thing can happen. And I'm not getting the opportunity for the thing to happen. And I'm like, this is getting very, 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 very frustrating. I just need somebody to hit the switch.
No,
For
Noah's
that,
brain was
I'm going
itchy.
to mute my microphone for a second.
Noah doesn't have a touch of autism. He got hit with a shovel that contained autism. Like there was no touch. Just put that out there. Okay, so you want my gaming win?
Yeah.
Yes.
My gaming win is that Noah remembered what he was gonna do to the very end of the session. And also that Joe, you missed this part, I guess. Surprise! Spoiler alert. I finally got to reveal who killed Dogmeat in our campaign.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Hancock.
Okay,
That
well,
son of
he
a bitch.
didn't do it. He assigned it.
He did. He did assign people to do it because y'all were pissing him off.
I'm gonna kill him.
Well, apparently they're going to take over Good Neighbor and appoint the mole rat as mayor.
No,
Was
I have
also
the
the plan?
solution for that. I have the solution for who is going to run Good Neighbor.
Who's gonna run Good Neighbor?
Lando.
No,
Fuck no.
no.
No. Marty.
Oh yeah.
Marty might be a kind and benevolent ruler.
Exactly.
At least
Yeah.
he's at
But
least
anyway,
it'd
we'll
be
talk about
as
that
a different
next time we
Hancock.
play.
Yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to
Jen,
set up my libertarian utopia.
Oh shit! With the mole
Does
rat
that
president?
exist?
Okay.
Does that exist?
That is not my
Utopia.
president. Jen, what's your gaming win?
My gaming win is that after 2 years, our table went from 1 notebook to 2.
Hell
Oh,
yeah!
awesome.
God, has it
So
been 2 years?
that's the gaming win.
That is
So we graduated to a second
awesome.
notebook.
Oh, and y'all leveled
And
up,
my
didn't you?
notes have greatly evolved.
Oh,
Hell yeah!
Yay, 2 notebooks.
On our other table, our note taker, Winter, she uses the notes from that table as the warm up for her gaming podcast.
That works.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
does
I
it?
use
It
Jet
doesn't. It
Notes,
doesn't.
Jet's notes for our podcast. That's pretty much.
But I mean, she just
Uh,
she wrote like to give them an idea of how completely feral and unhinged. Like
Uh.
just like yeah.
You should invite her to this podcast. She's already
I
doing
have
a
no
gaming
clue what you're
podcast.
talking
Yeah.
about. We are
Um,
very well-mannered, polite, kept individuals at that table.
And the name
Joe,
of this talk
since
show is
you
Degenerates with Dice.
since you were not there Wednesday night, do you want to hear the notes or did
I
you
read
read them
them.
on the
I read them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds like typical
Wait,
Lando
what's the next-
debauchery.
Yeah.
So our topics
There
for
wasn't
today.
even that much debauchery.
Yeah, but there was enough. There was enough. People were set on fire. There was enough. What was it?
Which table? Because it happens at both.
Yeah, yeah. So our topics for today are I'm gonna do a showcase for the game Runequest. Give people just an idea about that game since I'm doing the game showcase. You guys are also welcome to do a showcase too. I don't want to be the only person showcasing games, but I know I'm the only has a bunch of games other than Matt, and Matt really doesn't have the time to be on the podcast very often.
Tune in next week when I showcase Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition.
Yeah, because I'm sure everyone wants to learn about that game.
Accompanied with Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Noah
Have
would
you-
feature was
Have
Magic
you
the Gathering.
heard? Have you heard? And then, so today we're talking about status, status amongst players, amongst characters, and how you could use status to, affect your campaign. Making your characters go from 0 to hero. But then there's also the status that's actually at the table, players don't want to get into have time, and
Yeah,
then
it's a weird dynamic.
and after if we have even more time, then we can talk about critical successes and failures. But we might just table that to next week and have that be a whole whole episode. But we'll get into that as we get into it. So I guess first I'll talk about RuneQuest. Do any of you guys know anything about RuneQuest? Did you look anything up?
But
I've heard
before
about
you
it.
start, I would like to apologize to Brian because I definitely told Brian that you were talking about RuneScape because I am retarded.
You got half of it right.
What the like? Who? What's it like in your world? Really, honestly.
It's scary.
So you know those little clapping monkeys, the little wind-up ones with the little.
Yeah.
That's his world. Yep. That's
Well,
his
okay, but instead of them doing this, most of the time they're doing this.
world.
You can't have cocaine monkeys.
I can too. It's not what
Hold on,
that
I'll be
stripper
right
in
back.
Vegas told me.
That is herpes. That is herpes.
I told you, penicillin clears that right up.
No,
Jesus
it doesn't.
Christ, I'll be right back. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, yeah, back to RuneQuest.
Hi,
Any
baby.
of you kids looked anything up about it?
No, I did not because I was waiting for you to tell me about RuneScape.
Uh, so, RuneQuest. Look at the beautiful art on this. Look at that art.
Ooh.
Oh,
Where Bard?
well, technically anybody can be. It's a more open system. I'll get into that. So, RuneQuest. What is it? It's a role playing game. Obviously, it's set in like a Bronze Age fantasy instead of medieval fantasy. So think ancient Greece, ancient Babylon, stuff like that. Ancient Egypt. It's closer to that. Interesting fact: the main god here, Orlanth, is actually based off of a lot of gods. But if you read into the old history of Yahweh, there's a lot of correlations between the original Yahweh stories. Orlanth, Yahweh was also a interesting little fun fact. But yeah, it's a beautiful book for first thing. But this is my favorite fantasy setting because it is just more interesting than medieval fantasy. I have played medieval fantasy since what 2007, 2008. I kind of just don't care about medieval fantasy anymore. I've never been a
It
huge
seems like
medieval
it's
fantasy.
overplayed.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like there's so many medieval fantasy RPGs out there. I like fantasy, but I just want something more. And I'm much more interested in Bronze Age because it's just cool. It's interesting. Um, so how the world works is how the people from the Bronze Age would see the world is how it actually works. So there are no germs. It's
Oh.
just like if you get sick, the gods are mad at you, and you have to figure out how to make it right. It's like it's like how they perceive the world is how the world actually is in this. So the world is flat, even though there were Bronze Age communities who knew that the Earth was round, i.e., Greece. I mean, you don't need to get. But yeah, so there is flat. There's a ton of gods. They're all kind of catty and pissy with each other, as they should be. Large pantheon. Um, but you get to choose which type of gods you want to follow, and they all have like different boons and benefits. And that's really one of the big things is who you follow is the most important thing. So the two important things are your family and who you follow in this game. So when you're building a character, you actually have to go through your family's history and find out what your grandparents did and what your parents did, and to sort of like figure out who you are. Because in the ancient world, you're not that important. You die at the age of like 30, right? Like from like typhoid or malaria. Like it's your
Mary.
yeah. It's about your family name. Your family name is the most important thing. And one cool aspect of this game is that every adventure is a season. In this game, so you have your characters can grow old and they can die of old age in this game, and then you can make another one that's your child or your niece or your nephew, and to continue the story. So it's more about your family and about who, like the overall picture or your clan or whatever, and less about your character itself. Which is kind of cool because then you're like it's like you create a family story over multiple characters, and you still get to retire that old character, and you can bring him back if you want to really fuck shit up every once. If you have like a rude priest demigod-esque character, you can bring him back and nuke something if you really need to. But you know, who wants to play that character in every session? But so yeah, that's kind of one of the nice aspects of it. And then the other part is every character has magic in this game, so
Do they
like pretty.
gather?
They do gather, uh, but yeah.
Nice.
So you have two different types of magic. You have rune magic, and then you have like regular magic, like just like cult magic. And rune magic is like used maybe like once a session, if that. Like it's very very powerful. Like you get the ability to resurrect your friends and stuff like that with rune magic. It's very powerful. Or you could just go full berserk and just. Or you could just use, but most people use just like basic magic. And even like the most basic fighter will use some magic to like make their blade sharper, to do something else, like boost their defense. Everyone uses magic, and all the characters are pretty custom because you kind of base your character based off of your god. And so, like, if you wanted to, base it off your god, off your family, and then off of what your job is outside of being an adventurer, you have a job in this game. And yeah, it's just like you kind of like if you want to be a bard, you can be a bard. And there's gods that are really like having bards. There's gods who just don't give a shit, but that doesn't mean you can't be a. Like one of my favorite gods is Babista Gore.
Oh,
Babista Gore is awesome because she's the berserker god. If you like Rhea Ripley, she's pretty much just Rhea Ripley, goddess. She was literally born out of her.
Rhea Ripley is a goddess.
Yeah, but in this game,
I don't know
yeah.
these words that you're saying. Chip.
Yeah, but like, so she.
She's my mommy.
Babista Gore, her origin story is she was born out of her mother's corpse. She clawed her way out of her mother's corpse with two axes in her hands, and that's how she started her life. And she's a berserker goddess. All she does is fuck shit up. You can be a bard-like character towards Babista Gore, but she is not going to give a fuck. And also fucking things up. That's all she cares about. There's like
so
Storbull.
you like do the Call of the Swords.
Yeah. And there's like Storbull, who's just like, like Storbull is just like only wants to fight chaos. That's all Storbull cares about is fighting chaos. So it's like, yeah, you could be a herald and all that, but all Storbull cares about is fighting chaos. And so like it's kind of like this cool like sort of like mixture of things to where you can really create a fleshed out character. And for new players, it's kind of nice because you can create it without like the game creates it for you. Like you just say, okay, this is a cool place to live. This is a cool god or goddess that I really like. Okay, let me roll up my family's back history. Well, now I have a character right off the bat. So it's kind of cool, and then you can customize it further. It's a very complex game. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of crunch in it, but it's like it's all good crunch. Like you have to roll like to where you hit on their body, but like you can seriously sever somebody's arm off in like one round. Like you can just like one shot somebody's arm off, their legs off, and then you have to like if somebody cuts your arm off, you're still alive. You still have to like fight and stuff. It's interesting. Like you can get it back, but
You
it's
can
it's a
just
pain in
pick
the
it
butt.
up and use it as a club,
Yeah,
right?
people do that. People do that.
He's been a flesh wound.
Yeah, people do that, and that's kind of one of the cool things about this system is that it's very brutal, it's very fast, and people lose limbs all the time. And if you don't have Chalana or Roy, priest or priestess in your group, you're going to be walking around with a peg leg and shit because you're going to get fucked up eventually. Because it's Bronze Age, like you're going to like it's sword versus sword. You could be a very powerful player, but you're just not like the most powerful player is still in danger in this game. Like if a farmer with a pitchfork gets pissed off of you and stabs you in the back with a pitchfork, it's still gonna hurt like a mofo. Okay? Whereas in like fifth edition, that's not really a thing. You know what I mean?
So you just said the word peg leg.
Yeah.
And now, especially since Kristen's not here watching, there's a good possibility that Lando or Saturday will wind up with a peg leg by the end of the
Okay. Awesome.
So if it happens at the Fallout table, just roll with it, okay?
So a few more
Good to
things
know
before
since my
we move
character
on.
hauls your ass around.
A few more things before we move on.
Corbin, hush!
This setting predates D&D. It's actually like he started the writer who's like a notorious writer, Greg Stafford. He started writing this in the '60s actually. Uh, but the game itself, the board game that came out before this came out in '75, which predates D&D, and then the role playing game came out in '78, which was like right after D&D.
What?
Um, and it's I mean, and this has essentially
Guys, you're
been
being way too loud.
in one way or another, sort of in a similar vein since then. So I mean, like you're talking almost what 40 something years of this similar game. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of writing on it. I mean, like there's tons and tons of books. Like the world is probably the most fleshed out world you're ever going to see. They have an encyclopedia for this world. Um, it's it's about I want to say 700 pages, and it weighs about 14 pounds.
That's too many fucking pages.
That's just for the base encyclopedia. That doesn't include all the other books. Like I mean, like this, like the entire world is fleshed out. Like I mean, but the thing is, you don't need to know any of that to play. It's just that if you want to learn whatever question you have about this game, there is probably a whole book on the thing that you want to know about. That's how fleshed out this world is. But if you're going to start, I would just get this Runequest starter set. It's great. It's only like $30. Has everything you need to play, everything your players need to play. It's a Chaosium starter set, so it's really high quality. And I mean, it just started with this. This will give you everything you need to know about the world, everything you need to know to play in a simple book. You know, the rule book for this is like 60 pages. This is the only thing I let my players use at the table is the starter set because this is all they need. This book has so much shit in it that it can be almost overwhelming. Really great, but I mean, it's really a GM's book, honestly, or if you're making characters. Just keep that in mind. I figured I'd want to talk about it, kind of get it out there. Do you guys have any questions?
Ah, does it have the same standard kind of classes?
It has no classes. You make a custom character.
Just like
Oh.
me.
I also have no class.
It has jobs, so you can be like a noble or something. But as an adventurer, you're whatever you want to be. But you can mix and match things. It's like it's very customizable.
So my question is, why you play game that's all paladins?
You could play the game.
It's
as
not all
all-
paladins.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like pick God, family history. That's some fucking paladin shit right there.
No, I mean like it's not all paladins. So first of all, it's just it.
I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but like the relationship is that
God damn
everyone
God.
has a relationship with gods because they're real. Like they're all real and they're all affecting your life in the most minuscule way. Like you have to pray to the god Barntar for a good wheat harvest. You know what I mean? Like you're just always praying to something. You know what I mean? That's how it is. You don't have to be a good person. You can be a complete dick. But if you give enough cows to your
There's a
god,
god for
they're
that.
happy.
Oh, so it's a fun game.
Yeah. Like you could be a complete fucking asshole, but if you give enough cows to
Oh,
your
yes,
god,
he's
he's
hard.
probably cool. He's probably cool. Like all right, well this guy is a horrible human being,
I do
but
it in real life.
he sacrificed 1,000 cows. I mean, like it's all right in my book. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how. I mean, that's how the old gods used to work back then. You kill
Yeah,
enough
actually
animals in their
sacrifice
name. Yeah. You kill enough animals in their name. They were pretty cool with you.
I mean,
So,
how rigid are we with the term animal?
not very. I mean, it is the Bronze Age, so I mean they saw other people as
Fantastic.
Do not sacrifice Noah. We need him for the podcast.
But
Do you hear that, internet?
Fine.
I'm needed. No matter what Kristen says, I'm needed.
you can be used as a bad example. That's what you're for.
I love being used.
Oh god.
That came out.
Ew.
Apparently, wash your hands, fucker.
Uh, so, any other questions before we move forward?
Yeah, why is Kristen's keyboard so fucking loud?
She's on
Your
laptop.
mom's a bitch.
All right, so I guess with that, let's move on to our topic: status. Status at the table. I'll start with status for characters. Um, obviously, it can be a little confusing to talk about, but to put it simply, it's like, you know, this relationship between like high ranking shit and low ranking shit. So your characters at level one, when they go to meet like the Duke of the town or whatever, he's gonna look down upon them. But one of the nicest thing is being able to, when that gets flipped eventually, that feeling and all that. But it's a whole zero to hero thing about how to use that to really draw it out of your players to give them a good time by making them the zero to hero and not undermining that by giving them too much status too early, which I've had happen, which that fucking sucked so bad. That was probably the worst. You think it'd be great, you know, like oh wow, okay, like we're in charge of all this at level 3. Like no, it sucks. Then it's just like, where do you go from here? Pick your piece up. Um, but so that's kind of where I'm at. The between players at the table is a whole different thing. I just still want to talk about because I have a horror story about that, but we'll get into that later.
Oh,
A
he said
horror story.
horror
Horror.
story.
Horror.
Horror story.
We are the same person. God
Horror.
damn it,
Not a
Noah.
story about you, Kristen. Horror. There's an R on the end of it.
Horror.
Hey, I'm either
Horror.
gonna be famous or infamous. I'll take either one.
Bro, infamy all the fucking way. 100% give me infamy over fame.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I've never dealt with status like in the characters because all of you guys that I play with are just scumbags. So
Yeah. But that has an inherent status.
I don't know.
It's like who did we go after first? We went after Elder Maxon. Why? Because he's a self-righteous douchebag, and we're all scumbags.
Yeah.
You know, we got to take
Yeah,
out the
that's fair.
guy who is in charge of the most powerful organization in the Wasteland, arguably. One of, not, you know, it's arguable that the institute.
Well, hold on. Before we took out Maxon, we took out Mother Isold.
Yeah, who is also a higher status figure than ourselves. He was also covered in.
But was that by design or was that just a happy coincidence?
No, but that's the thing. It's like, even when if it's not by design, that's still sort of like a driving factor. Is whoever the powerful person in the room is, like, they become a target almost. But like, it's an easy
Hey, that
target.
was my first session, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's when you and Casey showed up.
And the leverage there is just it's so ripe for, you know, plucking, because it's like, at any point in time, if you have a person
Plucking.
of higher
No, plucking.
at any point in time, if you have a person of higher status do anything shitty to the players, they will be able to vendetta to fuck that character up. It's a great way, like, if you want the players to hate an NPC and get them on track for something, just make them spiteful towards a character that's of higher status than they are. Like, we all do this. We have Schadenfreude. We watch TV and we see some rich asshole get taken down a peg. It's funny. Like, it's like, oh yeah, that's fucking great. Just fuck that guy. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. That's why entertainment news is what it is. It's because you see these famous people.
Oh yeah.
Haha.
100%. 100%.
David Hasselhoff is
But,
eating
so
that
how
drunk cheeseburger drunk off his ass. Look at him. He's a god in Germany, but he's not there. Haha.
Well, so okay, does that, like, do you think psychologically brings the person of higher status down to your level so that it's a level playing field, or is it just because you want to see somebody fall?
Oh, a lot of times it's just because players want to see somebody. It is
Yeah.
like no matter what, it's always interesting to see somebody at a higher status fall. Good or bad, it's always
Yes.
interesting. It's always interesting.
Because
Yeah,
when they
well, it's
fall,
like
they
they're
can
just
either,
like us.
Yeah.
they can either fall gracefully or they can fall hilariously.
Yeah, and the reverse is also true. The scumbags get to take over their own town. You know what I mean? It's like when the scumbags actually become somebody, it's sort of like a heartwarming feeling because they know they're salt of the earth people who have made it to the top. You know what
Like
I mean?
letting Marty take
Yeah,
the
like what's
ribbon.
gonna happen week after next
Yeah.
or next week.
Next
Yeah.
week.
Sorry,
That's right.
next week.
And when
This
they
week is Pirate Week.
yeah,
Next week is Wasteland Week.
and when they
Yeah,
earn
Kristen.
that status, it feels great because it's like, okay, we went through all these trials and tribulations to get here. And like that's also a thing is like when like you deal with royalty, that's why medieval fantasy you want to have like a royal person, like a snotty royal kid is the easiest way to get players to hate somebody. You know why? Because they didn't earn anything; they were just born into it. Everyone hates that guy. Like I mean, like I hate to say it, but everyone hates that guy. And it's like if you're going to be born into something, you should at least be graceful. But if you have no humility and you were born into royalty, you're just an easy target to be brought down a peg by the scruffy, you know.
Yeah, but the people that tend to have decorum and class as a higher ranking
those?
person are the ones that have earned it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Because if you're born into it, like you don't understand. That's like
No,
your
yeah,
parents giving
yeah,
you a nice ass BMW for your first car and
yeah,
you wreck it. Oh, well, I have no attachment to that because I didn't work
yeah,
for it.
yeah, 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 and that's sort of
What's
where
your
I'm
problem
at.
right now,
Like
Noah?
that's what,
I'm
but see,
sorry.
but that,
You
that's
just said the words nice and BMW in the same sentence, and I'm gonna fucking throw up.
That's
I
the
mean, but
Texas
like,
in you.
yeah, but
You
that
should really work on that
No,
gag
it's the
reflex.
fact that I have a fine appreciation for classic German auto engineering, and fucking BMW is a shit stain on the automotive world, and anybody who drives them is automatically a target for me to put them into a bar ditch so that I can make way for the nice people who drive Mercedes Benz and can spell the word class and dignity. Sorry.
the
Car
Benz
rant
is
over.
actually a
Class and
much
dignity?
easier drive. It's a much smoother drive. But
NOAH.
back to gaming. What Chris has said is correct. That's the whole point. Is that the players want to earn it because that's the type of person that they respect, right? That's the type of person that everyone respects. Like they want to make it to that level. You know what I mean? Like that prince who was the kid diddler over in England. Nobody respected him even before that. Like
Which one?
the most recent one. The
Oh, okay.
yeah
The Nigerian one that wants you to send him his money.
yeah. But
Bro, he still ain't emailed me back, that motherfucker. And it's been like 18 months, bro. I'm getting real fucking anxious. Sent that dude
Yeah.
10 grand for his legal fees and he ain't sent me shit.
and like, but that's kind of where I'm getting at. It's like people want to see the rich kid who doesn't give a fuck about anything and is really shitty fault, and they want to be the person who gets to the top. Is sort of my
Yeah,
concept.
like
of it.
in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
I never saw that,
Oh,
so
that was a
I
terrible.
can't get into those.
It doesn't
I'm
count.
not a car guy. But so like one bad story that I had with this was like my GM trying to give us status without us earning it, which is the worst. Like so we went through a dungeon, right? We're going through a regular dungeon. At the end of it is a full fucking city. He's just like, congratulations, you guys just got yourself a city. We're level 3 characters, and we're now in control of our own city, entire fucking city, right? And he's like, and we're like, what the fuck do we do with this? It's just like, well, you have a
Like
city,
Seven
you can do whatever you want
Cookies.
with it. It's like you're the rulers of the city. It's like, but we're level 3 characters. Like we can barely control ourselves, let alone a city. Like there are town guardsmen stronger than us. What the fuck are you doing giving us a city because we went through a shitty dungeon and killed like a satyr and a couple of like goblins and shit, and now we have our own fucking city? Like that's like it has the exact opposite effect. It just took like any effect he wanted us to have, it took it all away. It's just like the fuck we're gonna do with this.
Hold up.
Like we didn't earn it.
I would do that to you guys. I would give you a city, but only because I will watch the aftermath. I want to see the aftermath of what you fuckers do with this thing.
She does it for the lulz.
Don't worry, you're getting real fucking close.
I fucking know it. Y'all are about to own Good Neighbor, but we'll see how that goes.
I got
Yeah,
a
but that's
settlement
different.
cooked up with a
That's-
fucking loot
But
loop.
that's different because we went a long distance. We've killed a lot of people. We've done a lot of things to get to the point where we can actually roll in there and fuck people up. But if you're a level 3, third level, 5th edition player who hadn't done
Yeah.
much before, just being given a city, and then being told like, okay, what do you want to do? It's a giant city, it's abandoned. You have to, figure out what you want to do with it. It's like, okay, but we don't want to do anything with it. Which first we want gold. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
So here's I would say it depends on your table.
yeah,
I wouldn't. How much? Not that I would trust our Fallout table
Words
with
are
their own
hard.
city.
Sound it out.
Yeah, not that I would trust our Fallout table with a city, but if I was running the game, I would definitely give the Fallout table a city of their own before I gave the 7th Sea city a table of their own. Just because I know what could happen. Like, especially with a table fucking 50% of the makeup is GMs, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
We would fuck it up.
that
We would fuck it up. But yeah,
yeah, that is an absolute unholy amount of chaos that I cannot wait to bear witness to in and of
well,
its entirety.
yeah,
So if you have that situation, I say, what's our motto here at Degenerates of Dice? Fuck it, we ball.
yeah,
um
yeah.
like
Fuck it, we ball.
yeah, like, so in that situation, yeah, go ham. You
Yeah, I
should
guess you're right.
absolutely do
Like,
that.
yeah, because it's like it depends on how how experienced the players are, and B, how creative they can be with the situation, and if they're okay with fucking themselves over. The big
And
thing.
it's like,
Well,
so
it also
we
depends on how creative the GM is, because
Yeah, yeah, which he wasn't. He wasn't creative. That was his big idea.
God, I
Was
wish we
you
had
haven't
one of
seen-
those.
like his
me
his
too.
his big idea was you have a city, and that was it. Like he was just like, you guys, just I give you a city. He was also going to give us like a Vorpal
Has he
sword
ever
and
played
shit.
D
And
and
I'm
D
just like,
before?
oh, that was a fun fact. Yeah, so this is kind of a diatribe, but so we were going to start with at the beginning. He was like, we're talking about D&D. I was like, well, I haven't played D&D in a while. I've only played Rips, but I had ran multiple games before this campaign. But he had said that he had also ran games before the campaign. So I was like, well, since you've actually ran 5th edition, you should run this. I don't know 5th edition, so you should run this. Turns out he had ran one game before this campaign, like one session. Didn't tell us this. He just told us that he had another campaign that he was running at the time. He had ran one session and he had co-GM that session with somebody else.
That's how you end up with the city at level
Yeah.
3.
And let's just say he didn't
Now-
know fucking the beginnings of how to run a game, period. Like he didn't know the basic stuff. Like we had to have the how to heal your
Devils?
gaming table situation with that table at one point because the
Mhm.
dude got fucking gross. Like he didn't know anything about how to run a table. He didn't know how to talk to women in general, but he didn't know how to run a gaming table. It was like
Devil-
To be fair,
everything
Devil's
most
that
guys
could
that
have
play
gone.
on tabletop don't.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. If you have the nuts to get behind a fucking screen one time, you are braver than fucking most.
That is true. But so he got halfway behind the screen. He got behind the other guy who actually turns
What?
out he was the actual GM of that other campaign. He was just helping him out. I guess he was like writing down initiative and shit like that. Like he
Uh,
I don't think
he
it's
didn't
necessarily
know D&D.
bravery.
He didn't know D&D. It was more stupidity because he crashed and burned so bad. Like it was the
Oh, yeah.
worst campaign I've ever been in was that one. Crashed and burned bad. And we tried so many times to help him, and then he just like he refused the help. So like he gave one of our players like we were like maybe level 2 at this point. He gave him like a 3d6 weapon in one hand, a 2d10 weapon in the other hand, and he was already paladin. So this level 2 character was dealing like 70 damage per turn. And we were
most
all
of the
dealing
enemies
like
at that level don't
Yeah.
even have half that many hit points.
Yeah, and we were all dealing like, 5 to 10. And we were just like, okay, everything's unbalanced. Can we give these back? And we could give him like a +2 magic sword as a trade, so he doesn't feel completely neutered.
Wait, did the player feel like it was unbalanced too?
Yeah, the player was the one who talked to him. I talked to the player. I said, "Hey, look at the math on this. He was like, yeah, it's completely fucked up. And then I gave him a solution like, would this work or would this work? And he was like, yeah, either of those. I'll talk to the GM about it. So he talked to the DM about it. The DM said no. He was just like, no, this is my game. This is
Well,
how
see, at
we're
that
doing
point,
it.
Y'all too
no,
nice.
absolutely
You-
not.
you-
Absolutely not.
too
It's
nice.
my
I
game.
wasn't. I called him out multiple times after that because it's just like combat meant nothing after that. It meant nothing. We just
Hold on.
could not keep up.
I run the table, but it is not my game.
Yeah, that's rule number one of being a GM is you have all these other people who are taking time out of their day to play with you. And it's just like it's a collaborative storytelling. You know, like it's like
Yeah,
you
but
have to respect that.
If
So,
I
hey-
ever, and I'm saying this right now, if I ever say, that's my game, or that's not how we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it my way,
Yeah,
fucking fire me as a GM.
yeah. We don't have to because
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So sorry about the diatribe, but like that's just to kind of give like background. Like I could, that was the worst campaign I'd ever.
So, kind of taking that and tying status of a group into the same thing. I kind of had a similar situation in the first D&D game I ever played. I fucking just caught that moth. Fucking good, boy.
Wax on, wax off, motherfucker.
So we at level 2, level 2 or level 3, I forget. It was very early on, right? But we're playing Fandelver, right? Starter set.
Yeah.
Pretty basic campaign. So there's a section where you have to go confront the adult green dragon. And because the table composition is made up of me and my autistic spaz bag friends and our wives, we did things a little out of order.
That's D&D,
right?
That's fine.
So yeah, so we wound up coming across the dragon like 4 sessions before we ever came across the dragon cultists that was supposed to come first. So
I have a whole diatribe about how terrible that module is. We'll do that
right.
later. Like
But
the
so,
amount
like,
of assumptions in that module are fucking insane.
And now that I have run my fair share of games, I completely understand. At the time, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Now I'm like, we definitely need to change a few things. Anyway, so long story short, my character was the basic bitch human fighter, Legolas type character, right?
Not person, just character.
Yeah, bitch, am I anything but basic? Come on,
He
it's
is a
me.
basic white girl.
I am bougie as fuck. Okay, ain't a basic fucking bone in this body. Anyway, so we get to the dragon first. We kill the dragon. I talk the barbarian with a great axe into taking a trophy. And just for everybody here's sake, I'm gonna say we took a part of the dragon as a trophy.
What of
and
a
put it in my
dragon bone.
A dragon bone, one would say. And I put it in my backpack. So fast forward to the next week, and then we meet up with the dragon cultists. And they were like, and our GM was like, well, I've got to kind of spitball here because, you know, things are out of order, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you guys worship this dragon. Like, since you guys worship dragons, like, would you be willing to bless this piece of a dragon that I've come into possession of, you know, so that it can aid us in our travels because we too also worship dragons, right? So I hit the roll, and like this is going to be one of those like topics for later when we talk about crit fails and successes.
Yeah.
But I hit a 20, right? So at that table especially, the rule of cool applies, and if you crit, you crit. So if you crit, you're getting what you want, right? So he's like, okay, fine. we'll bless it. So how are we gonna bless it? I'm like, well, number one, this is a fuck, you're gonna have to remind me what they call it. Improvised melee weapon, right? So my GM's like, well, what are we improvising? I'm
Nope.
like, well,
No.
I mean, I guess technically it would be like a great club, so it assumes great club's weapon block stats, right? So
No.
it's like a 1d8 plus 2 to hit plus
Yeah.
1 damage, whatever, just basic bitch improvised weapon, right? He's like, okay, cool. So how do we? And of course, this is his first game behind the
Oh
screen,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, well, I don't really know what to do here. So my buddy Chris, who's at the table, goes, well, maybe since it's an improvised weapon, after it gets blessed, it can turn into a named item with some
No.
bonuses to its
No.
stats.
No.
My
God
GM
damn
goes,
it.
no. My GM goes, that sounds like a good idea. Roll a d6 twice
No.
for me. I said, okay. So I rolled double sixes. So it had +6 to hit, +6 to damage. We go back to town to report to the mayor. We have
You just-
killed the dragon, right?
Oh my
We
god.
already have our hobgoblin cohort in crime that we have rescued to have the town artificer attach bugbear legs to it so that it can walk again after we, war crimed it. And I was like,
War crimes.
he goes, while you're here, is there anything else you need? I'm like, can you upgrade our weapons? Yeah, sure, we can do that.
God damn it.
I was like, okay,
God
what does
damn
that
it.
entail? He goes, well, if you have the gold. Now, he completely forgot that his wife keeps like gen level notes, right? So she's got the inventory. And he's like, oh, well, for 500 gold, I can.
Oh.
On it.
He goes, I
motherfucker.
can upgrade your weapon. And I looked over at his wife. I'm like, do we have gold? She goes, are you about to do what I think you're about to do? I was like, oh, 100%. She goes, yeah, we definitely got the gold for it. So go ahead. I was like, so I would like to upgrade Dicka Mortis, the great dragon great club. He goes, okay, fine. Just in order to make this not hurt as much and help my chances, he goes, I'm gonna need you to roll
Use
2
lube?
d12s. I rolled a 10 and a 12.
What the fuck?
God damn it.
So I had +10 to hit, or +16 to hit, and +18 for damage.
What the
As
fuck?
a
No, at
level
that
2,
point, like,
walking around with this weapon,
wait.
and I was only able to connect on one attack with it for the entirety of the rest of the fucking game.
That's what you
That was
get.
karma.
That's what you get. Hold up. That's the point, though. Like, y'all don't know what happens behind my screen,
Yeah.
which means I get to lie.
Yeah. GMing
That
is
should
like
never
parenting.
happen.
Just
That should
lie.
never
Just
happen.
lie. Yeah. Just GMing is like
Yeah.
parenting. Just lie. It's
That's
like,
what I tell all my
yeah.
new kids from school. I'm
Right,
like,
so-
when they want to talk about being gyms and stuff, I'm like, if all else fails, lie.
Yeah. Lie.
But like, here's the thing though, right? So where Chris and I understand where you're coming from with just lie, right? But at the same time, that I feel there is a way to kind of like, okay, so for instance, I critted, right? So I convinced the dragon cultist to
Yeah.
turn an improvised weapon into Dicka Mortis, the Green
Yeah.
Dragon's great club, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that happens. Now, there's a way to do that as a
Just
GM.
make it a +1. Make it a +1 dragon dick.
Right,
You know what I
or-
mean? And then
Right, you
Make it
everyone's
deteriorate
happy.
because it's gonna rot. Make it deteriorate.
Yeah.
Make something happen. Like,
Oh, you can let them keep
But
it.
don't just, like, here's
I would let them. I would let them have a +1 great club. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah,
if they
but
want
see,
a +1
so, like-
great club, this is dragon dick. That's fine. They'd
But
love
like
it. They
what,
wouldn't
what
care.
I'm saying is like, so even how our DM did it, right? Like it was okay, yes you can, now I need you to roll dice for it, right? Like
Yeah.
the thing that I think is cool about that is, yes, it gives the players some control over the situation of their own destiny, right? But you at the same time as a DM have the total fucking ability behind the screen to go, oh, this level 1 fucking goblin that you specifically are fighting because, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you its AC, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not giving it to anybody. Like, when you specifically are swinging at it, it's no longer a 4, it's a fucking 23, right?
Right.
Like,
But
you
a
have
new
that
GM's not
power.
gonna pivot with that either.
I mean, and
Right, but I'm saying,
I
like,
would, yeah. I mean, I think if you just read the rule books, you would know not to have people rolling that to get that much damage. I think that would solve a lot of problems. I don't think. I do think
Now,
you need to have a basic understanding
okay.
of the core rules before you start fucking with the combat systems and stuff of the game, um, because that can
I
happen. Because it wasn't fun for us watching him deal 70 damage to everything, and we just watched
no.
him kill ice giants and stuff while we were just
yeah,
okay.
Well,
you're in
I'm
that
all
particular
for
situation, your GM should have taken control of the situation and been
yeah.
like,
But
yeah,
even
that
we
doesn't
asked
fucking
him
hit.
to, but like his ego was just sort of like, no,
No.
this is my game.
Then
I
you
made
fire
that
him as a
decision.
GM.
Ultimately, we kind of did, but
Yeah, you
like
should have
it
called
was.
me, Joe.
I didn't know you at the time, and I ended up being the one to run a campaign after that. So yeah,
Right. Well, back
I,
I am all for giving you an improvised weapon. I am all for y'all find some shit because like at
yeah,
one point I was playing on one of Matt's tables and one guy took a person and hit another person with it, so we had to get stats for a motherfucker to beat another motherfucker.
yeah,
Like
Right.
that was, but
that's fun.
as a GM and especially as a new GM, if that's something that you kind of realize what happened after the fact and go, oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay, well then behind the scenes, you need to figure out how to scale that combat. You need to figure out how
or
to make
just,
that a little bit more.
or
Fair.
you could do what I
It's like-
do, which is sometimes you just say at the start of the next session, "Hey, I fucked up with this. Can we
Right.
retcon it?" And usually
Do some
people are totally
retconning.
okay with that. It's like if you just say I fucked up, here's the problem, and here's how I want to fix it.
Being honest, is
I have
great.
never
for
never had
players.
any problems with honestly.
But like, a perfect example that everybody in this podcast right now, well, everybody on the stream can relate to.
Words are hard.
When Kristen let me find a fat man,
Yeah. Yeah. You have yet to fire that
And-
fat man.
right? Because every time I have searched for ammo, I have come up with nothing except for one time. I have one fucking mini nuke. That's it. Now, I wave that bitch around like it's fucking Marlin 22 on
Yeah.
fucking steroids, but I have yet to pull the trigger, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that, so like, I as Lando can get to go, listen, motherfucker, I got, God, this sounds fucking absolutely atrocious. I got the biggest fucking dick in the room, and everybody's gonna do what the fuck I say, right? But that's only gonna work one time when I pull the
Yeah.
trigger. That's never gonna fucking work again.
My
Right.
thing is though, like
So
with
I
the
have to take it and like literally swing it at a motherfucker's head and
Yeah.
hit a motherfucker
Well,
with it.
And in my mind, that's a Jack Sparrow situation where you have the blunderbuss with one bullet.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, but even like
But I,
think
was able
if
to give you what you wanted.
I think if you have experienced players, they won't abuse it just because it's not as interesting. You know, the issue is new players will abuse that shit because they're still in the power fantasy part of their gaming life cycle.
Yeah.
Whereas we're now in like the fuckery part of our gaming life cycle, and that's
You're
like
out of
it's a
the-
very
out of the
different.
mur-
Ball.
Out of the
Yeah,
out of
Yeah,
the
like,
murder
we're-
hobo stage, and you're into
Yeah.
like
yeah, we're into like the bard stage where we're just sort of like fuck it, let's just do dumb shit because
Yeah.
like we
Right.
can't because you can't do it in real life. So this is how we get it. You can do it in real life, but you'll get to go to jail most of the time and stuff we do.
Well, it's
But
like,
you know,
well,
And-
and
and
most
if
of
you'll
y'all's
notice,
play is
every. Go ahead, Chris.
most of y'all's play is not combat based. Now I
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
that whenever y'all get back to
yeah.
Good Neighbor, all hell's gonna break loose.
but that's
most
gonna be
of
very
it's
quick
not combat
combat.
based.
That's gonna be a very quick combat though. We're gonna figure out a way to fuck it up. Like we're gonna
Right.
figure out a way to just like quickly
Yeah.
get rid of those guys.
But like, so every encounter that we've had since I've found that fat man, I've pulled it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I've pulled it out and shown the world what we're working with. Right.
Even
Wash your
to
hands.
the
Wash your hands.
fucking blood bugs.
Right. Even to the blood bugs. But like, my point is if you notice, I always say I draw my fat man.
Yeah.
It's never I'm going to use my fat man to attack blank, or I'm going to draw and load, or I'm going to load the
I
fat man.
brandish.
Yeah,
Right.
but
It's
that
always I'm pulling the fatty out and let's fucking fuck this chicken. Like, and then thankfully somebody at the table is smart enough to catch on and go, whoa, 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 it's a little fucking overkill. It's a
But-
blood bug, motherfucker.
the thing is, we're all experienced
Where is your
storytellers,
Fat Man
and so
now?
we're looking to tell a great story. We're not looking to be powerful. But most players, once again, I hate to always go back, harp back on this. Most players just want the power fantasy, and so like it just depends
all have
on
been
your
there.
group. I mean, I guess when I
It's
was
like,
younger, but I've always liked stupid characters. Like I really just loved stupid characters as long as I can remember. I think that's
See, like,
probably just the brain
this is where I can
damage.
brag on my kid a little bit because she normally plays a wizard type character at the table,
Yeah.
right? But my favorite variation of her character was the very first one she played, which I have talked about before, but it was more like I'm kind of a lazy new wizard. Like, I'm kind of just here and I don't really know what the fuck's going on. And yeah, I'm totally OP as a character now that I'm level 6, but like,
But
I'd rather just take a nap. You know what I mean? So, like, the way that she played that character from the beginning as I'm just going to sit in the back and, oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
there's combat happening. What do I do? To where fucking 30 sessions in, all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, level 6, I cast level 5 magic missile and just nuke the entire room, and then I'm going to go take a long rest. And everybody's like, no, yeah, like, not only did you save the party, not only did you absolutely hit every single one of those
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of your
'cause magic
level
missile.
and your
Yeah.
stat sheet, but like, you've been able to do this since the beginning, and you just finally said, fuck it, we balled, now I got a nap.
Hey,
That's like
works for me.
Silent Bob talking and then being like he super eloquently speaks, but he just never does.
Oh, man, you remember when I tried to do Jay and Silent Bob at the table and then it didn't work?
Yep.
Which table?
That was almost fun.
Bells.
At the Fallout table.
Oh.
That was the original idea for Lando and Randall. Was Randall was going to be the Silent Bob to my Jay,
Ah.
where it was totally Lando's dumbass fucking idea to do something, but Silent Bob is the one pulling the strings behind the scenes and like the brains of the operation. But Lando somehow lucks into some stupid, and then I'm the fucking hero of the day. Right? Like, that's how that was originally supposed to play out.
Oh, so that gives me a topic idea when we're done with this one. Let me write that down.
Yeah, I've
so I
got
don't
one
forget it.
too. I just texted Noah about it.
So,
Yeah, and I just text you back.
I guess let's move on to like status as players, like as actual players. Just 'cause I want to harp on it a little bit. Take too long. So I'll just give my horror story. So one of the things I've been looking out for since this point is, can you actually give this person what they want? 'Cause sometimes you'll have players who aren't looking to be a team player; they're looking to be the hero of the story, not of everyone's. And that comes down to status. And I've only ever seen it happen a couple times, but the one time that was the most prominent, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, even though no one watches this podcast, but still.
Say it!
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Say it with your chest!
We
By the way,
had
today was chest day and titties was popping.
we had a fifth edition campaign that my friend she was running, and this guy we were already sort of like we don't really like play with him that much because he likes to bogart everything. Like the story has to be about him, and it was sort of like, okay, but whatever. And so he kept crying about like how he wanted to meet his character's dad in game and all that. Eventually, we derailed the entire campaign to be about us helping him find his character's dad. Then he starts crying about that because it didn't go the way he wanted it to in an improvised game, right? And so like and we were like what the fuck is happening? Why is nothing good enough? And it turns out like it was more about the friendship dynamic. He wanted to be he wanted to be the top dog at something. That was one of the big issues was that he wasn't really the top dog in the group because nobody really was. And that was the whole point. But he wanted to be, you know, just the most important person in the room, and it was manifesting through the game. And so he wanted to have
Well,
a
that's
higher
because he's not
status.
important in his own life.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm harping at is, you know, how can we acknowledge that and then deal with it effectively? Because we essentially had to cancel the campaign and then make a new one, just not invite him to the new one. Because like it got to the point where it's like this isn't about D&D at all. This is about you needing to feel important amongst us, and it's
Ew,
like
gross.
we can't give you that with this way because it's kind of just catty and shitty. And long story short, the last time we ever saw
Right.
the guy was like the week after that, the last session we played with him. The girl who ran the campaign had a birthday party. He completely bogarted the birthday party. We were going bar hopping, and that one bar had a superhero trivia, and he cried until everyone played superhero trivia instead of bar she went. And so he completely bogarted her birthday party, and it was a big thing. And we kind of just
That's a
separate ways.
personality trait.
Yeah, and he ended up having like a mental breakdown and shit after a while. Starting like filling his house full of spiders. He had like black widows and shit. It was really weird. It was really fucking weird. And but yeah, it's
Why?
like
Little
I'm sorry,
baby.
what?
that.
What did you just say? What I think you just said?
What?
That he was filling his house full of spiders.
Yeah, he had like a massive spider collection. Kept buying more
Nope.
spiders.
I had to exit the table in a fucking
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Yeah, and so like it was
That's a
just
serial
bro,
killer
I got
behavior.
Yeah.
fucking severe arachnophobia.
yeah.
Like a
They're not
motherfucker.
pets. They're not pets. They're
No.
the enemy. Like we're
Like, motherfucker, unless you from fucking Asgard or Wakanda,
Yeah.
we can run this fucking fade. 100%, I fear no man that walks this fucking planet. You come at me with a daddy long legs, I will shit in my fucking pants
Yeah,
and
he had
run away.
he
As
had
Chris
like
is
black
taking notes
widows
over
and
here,
shit.
I'm
He
taking
had
notes.
he had like black widows and shit. Like you know, like just like stuff that you
Bitch, we
should never
close
have
enough,
in your
I'll
house.
punch you in the mouth.
But I mean, I just say
How
that
does he
like
throw the spider at you?
just from the standpoint of like the whole how to heal a table thing. Like, how do you deal with a player who is looking to get something out of the table that isn't something that you could necessarily give to them, or if you can't give to them, you don't like it's not earned or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with a player looking for higher status and using the game to get it?
I mean,
So
I'd start it out as a joke of calling him out, be like, eh. But then like for real, pull him aside, be like, I can't give you what you want,
Yeah.
and you're being a bitch right now, so stop.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
say like at least the way I would handle it is and I had to do this for one of my online tables. Is I basically told the person, I was like, listen, like at the table in front of God and everybody, I was like, hey, no,
Yeah.
like this is not the you show, it's the y'all show, and you the one taking up all the screen time here, right?
Yeah.
And when that didn't work, it was, hey, I'm gonna let you play tonight, like and 100%, like I'm gonna throw it out on the table and let you see it. I'm gonna let you play because you know, in that it at that point, that's where you go, this is my table, motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And if
Well,
you
I mean,
do this
yeah.
dumb shit again, you're not coming back next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean,
100%.
like, it's, that is not this is it's like you are given a certain amount of authority as a GM to make sure that everyone is having fun, and I think I don't think that that's like, you know, like an ego trip or anything to be like, hey, you're fucking up everyone else's game, but it's like it's once again going back to the whole like there's like 4 other people here who are playing with us, and you are fucking it up for everyone. I think that's. I mean, even a player could pull you aside and be like, "Hey, you're fucking this up for everybody." At that point, like there's nothing wrong with being, "Hey, no, stop, get your shit, or get out." And I mean, my thing is, I'm not sure if you even owe them that. Like, depending on how good of friends you are, if you don't think you'll ever see them again, you can just be like,
Burn
delete.
that bridge,
Honestly,
fucker.
yeah, just burn it.
Well, so
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like, I mean, yes, I 100% agree. Like, you don't owe them anything,
Yeah,
but I still think the right thing to do
yeah, that's what
is
you want.
first off,
That you would want.
address it above the table so that
Yeah,
everybody clearly fucking understands what's going on, right? Not only
yeah,
the person that you're getting onto, but the other people at the table know that you've got their back, right?
yeah,
And you
yeah,
go, hey, listen, this is a problem. Okay. There's other fucking people here.
yeah,
Sit down and shut the fuck up.
yeah,
And at that point, if they don't get it, yeah, then it's like, okay, we've kicked them out of the fucking group chat. They don't get the invite link. They don't get the fucking time whose house we're playing at, and they don't get told what snack to bring,
It,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That,
I guess
but
we're not
it,
going to have Doritos this time around because he always brings the Doritos. You know,
right,
somebody's going to
but
pick up the
like,
slack.
I'll
You
Venmo you Dorito money.
I do think, I mean, unless there's a blatant like,
If it's not like
God,
completely malicious,
is-
if it's completely
yeah,
malicious, like fuck
this is
them.
not at all who I am, so
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this. But like, if it's not a blatant violation of quote unquote player safety, you kind of have to. I think you deserve, or they deserve to go, hey, you're fucking up. Here's
Yeah.
your chance to correct.
Yeah.
Give him a
Do
chance
with
to
that
correct.
information
No,
what you will.
Yeah.
my situation last time was a different situation because it
Yeah,
was
that was
affecting player
bullshit.
safety.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But I
But,
would
I mean-
always try to give them the chance to correct.
Yeah. Because people have blind spots, right? Like people have blind spots. And sometimes just like saying like, "Hey, this is an issue," they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, that's something I need to work on." You know,
Right.
it's
But
I
they
get
still
that.
also like
Chris,
well that wasn't
Kristen even
he
told
was like
me
that,
privately before Maddie's big moment. Like,
Yeah,
because like week one, I think everybody at the table knew, hey, Noah's kind of extra. Noah's a little bougie, right? Like, I don't in any way, shape, or form ever come to a table and go, this is all about me and I am
Yeah.
going to steal the spotlight, right?
yeah.
Sometimes that happens. I
like when you're
apologize.
flying
It's
a bird.
ADHD. Like we get super excited with
Right.
our ADHD, and it just
we
goes
all do
Right,
it.
it's
We all
like-
do it.
It's not my plan. Sometimes
Yeah.
some shit happens and I can go a little extra, right? But like that particular thing, that one particular session, Kristen called me and she was like, hey, I just want to let you know we're getting to a point in the story that you have fucking no clue what's going on about. And this is all centered around one fucking character, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit the fuck down and I'm gonna sit this one out, basically.
Yeah. And
Well,
like,
but I even told you guys in the group chat, hey, this is gonna be Maddie centric.
yeah,
This
yeah,
one is.
yeah.
But then I did
That
take
was
Noah
fine.
aside privately and go, hey, this is super important. We need to do this. She's been playing this since day one.
And I think there is something to be said there too, because like I said, he wanted the story to be revolved around. He never really added to the story. Like we had to force his dad's story way through. Whereas Maddie, she was just doing shit, and she kind of created a story just by, you know, engaging in the
Well, and she had messaged
fuckery that
me-
she was engaging in. Like she was like she
Right,
had
but
an
this was her
interesting
first
story that
table
we
to
all
play
want to
on.
follow. Sorry.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
well, and this is her first table play on, and from session one, she was messaging me
Yeah.
privately, going, "Hey, this is what I want my character to do. Here's what it is." She was fully invested in this,
yeah, yeah,
and I was like, "You know what? Let's fucking do it."
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was crafted for that,
yeah, yeah. And
but it
was
wasn't
fun.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a fit. It's gonna be about me."
yeah.
Fuck you, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing. He would cry, but it was also like we don't know how to make this about you, given the current story, because we're here to kill goblins, not to see how cool you are. You want to be cool, just kill the goblins in a cool way, like everyone else is doing. I don't get how this is like
Right.
complicated. Like Like, I don't know. Like it's just that I'm not sure. Obviously, Noah's been there. Yeah, yeah. But like, it's just I just wanted to bring it up because it was on my mind because I was reading a book and it kind of came up. So I figure we would talk about it in case
But
somebody else came into that.
if he can't read a room, because I can guarantee you that the other players
Yeah.
at the table were acting differently towards him.
Yeah, we were. We should have communicated better. We definitely should have communicated
Not
better.
y'all. It wasn't on you guys. It was on the GM,
No,
and it was on him.
well, I mean, I think the issue was like we were all friends with him outside of the game too, so we would see him all the time. But it wasn't just the game that it would be everything that he would cry about, like everything. If it wasn't, you
I
know,
would've-
yeah, and
I would have set him on fire.
but like the issue was like whenever we would call him out on anything, we would get a hissy fit from a 30-year-old man. You know what I mean? So it's just sort of like she didn't really know how to deal with that, and so we just kind of had to cut him off.
At that point, you go, get the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like 100%.
And I was seen
Well,
as
and if
too
she's
mean at
not-
the time. Everyone thought that I was an asshole because I would say stuff like that. And so I shut up because everyone would say that I was an asshole. So I just kind of sat there and was just like, well, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I was with the rest of the group. Because, I mean, I know what I would do in this situation. And sure enough, one of the players invited him to one of my tables at one point, and I was just not having any of it. And let's just say that was the first and last time he ever came to that table, and I had to call him out on a bunch of shit. Like he was grinding weed in front of people that he didn't know. Like some people don't want to be around pot.
Let's be grown-ups.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
maybe you should ask people before you you do that. Like, and it's like it's not your house for one thing. You know what I mean? You're at somebody else's house, so you're just pulling out drugs. It's like, you know, I don't really see weed as like really drugs, but still, you know what I mean? It's just like you just don't do that.
Right.
Some people have
Be
security
respectful.
clearances or government jobs.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh yeah.
and also
Well,
it's like
and here's
if you,
the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. If you said that the GM was a relatively new GM, is that what you said?
She was very new, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if y'all brought it up to her and she couldn't figure out how to handle it, then she needs to access someone who is a seasoned GM and say, how would you handle this? And at some point, all of us as GMs have had to put on our big boy panties and deal with it.
I mean, but the thing is, I was that guy, and but the thing is, I was seen as the asshole, so that was the issue. Is like I had the solution, which is to tell him to fuck off.
Right.
But I was, being labeled as the asshole by him, some of his friends who were also in our friend group, and so it was just sort of like, well, I mean, like you already know what I'm going to say. Just get this fucker out of here.
Listen, sometimes in life
next
you
time try
have to
arson.
you have to be the asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of times in life, you have to be the asshole. Once other people get involved, in my point of view, once other people get involved, I am more than willing to be an asshole to protect other people and to respect their
time. Like,
that's how
I will be a bitch every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Like,
I mean, fuck them.
Not that it's anywhere near the same level of importance, right? But like, you kind of have to have the approach of like a parent and their kid.
Yeah, yeah.
At a certain level. Like
yeah.
there are plenty of fucking people who I have told to their face, no, you are not welcome in my house because you make my kid uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's their home, and they deserve to be. They deserve to feel safe. Yeah,
100%. I get it. We've been friends a long time, but you did one thing that made the kid uncomfortable, and I am sorry, but that's just how it's gonna fucking be. If you don't like it, fucking block my number. Don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Or we'll see you at Applebee's. You know what I mean? Like it's like we'll see you in public. You know what I mean? But you're not coming to my house.
I don't want you to starve, but you can't eat at my table anymore. Type of situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
sorry,
so
Tupac.
you just hey, thug life, baby. But you have to take that approach sometimes.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it's fine. I think it's perfectly fine.
What? And it comes down to, as a GM, you guys, it's my I have a responsibility to you guys.
Yeah.
You guys trust me, and I have a responsibility to, basically like a mom, protect you guys.
Yeah. But we also have responsibility to each
Thanks,
other.
Mommy.
You know what I mean? Like we also have responsibility to each other. You know what I mean? Like it's
Don't make it weird.
really as
Yeah.
players, we you. Yeah, like
Sorry.
we're all adults and we can all read the room. Like we should all be like responsible for each other. You know, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and
It's-
honestly, Joe, they should have just let you say whatever you wanted to say and be like,
well,
"That's-
now
that's
they
my thing,
would,
get on it."
but it was just the politics of the time, I
Yeah.
guess.
Sometimes they gotta fuck around and find out.
He was the best friends with one of my
Fafo,
roommates at the time.
motherfucker!
It was a whole deal. He was best friends with one of my roommate, which the roommate was. That's all in the past.
Most of them are.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up. If you guys have any other thoughts on that, just because I figured we'd talk about it just in case a new GM runs into the situation,
Well,
have the experienced GM.
and one thing I keep personally a pet peeve of mine is anyone acting like they're better than somebody else.
Yeah, yeah,
That and willful ignorance. Those two things I
Yeah.
cannot stand.
yeah,
You're no better than anybody else, and if you want to do that at my table, you can get the fuck on.
yeah.
I'm willfully ignorant.
I mean, yeah.
You are? I know. I think
But
It's
in
like
a
that's-
good way.
It's okay.
In a
Well-
good way, I'm willfully ignorant.
Well, the ironic part is the person who acts like they're better than everyone else is usually the one that's on the bottom of the totem pole. You know what I mean?
It's a
Because,
self-esteem
like,
issue.
Yeah, because
Hashtag
now
power bottom.
because like because you kind of like you're kind of just airing out all of your self-esteem issues, like what Kristen said, to the entire group, and now they're having to deal. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, okay, now we know what you're insecure about. Thanks. You know what I mean? It's just
Mm-hmm.
Right. They rolled a critical fail reading the room.
yeah.
Wait,
Speaking of,
that's a
It's
hard way to go
power.
through life.
oh wait, do we
Speaking
want
of
do
power
we want to
bottoms?
do what? We can talk about power bottoms.
Speaking of power,
You know who's the greatest power
Um,
battle of all time? Aleister Crowley. #1 power battle of all time. If you ever read any of his history, he was
Yeah,
yeah he
that
was
tracks.
yeah he was the yeah he was #1 power bottom. He all for.
nice. Hell yeah.
He also ate
Um,
people's shit, so take it for what you will.
I think that comes with the territory, my friend.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
kink shame, but that's fucking.
I kink shame eating shit.
We
That's
don't
just
kink shame.
unhealthy. That's
yeah,
unhealthy.
we're not allowed to kink shame. Oh
That's
wait, no, we are.
unsanitary.
We don't,
That's
we-
we
unsanitary.
don't kink shame, but we will be concerned for your health.
Yeah.
If you kink shame, it has to be your kink. Kink shaming has to be your kink if you do it.
No, I'm gonna kink shame
Ew,
eating shit.
Joe.
I'm gonna kick. No, I'm gonna kick shame eating shit. That's not good. You should not do that. If you have that inclination, go see a psychiatrist because that's
Wait,
not
eating shit or eating ass? 'Cause those are two different things, right?
eating shit. Yeah, eating
I eat
ass is
pieces of
fine.
shit
Eating
like you for
shit.
breakfast.
Eating shit is like.
Hey, listen, if you don't
should
slip
know.
up on some ass when
You
you're
can
doing
eat-
it, you ain't doing it right.
You can eat ass, just not shit. That's per Joe. Papa
Yeah.
Joe. Eat
As a
ass, not shit.
millennial, those are the rules. So just saying, as a millennial, that's how we operate.
Can't afford housing, but can't eat ass. Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Can't
mean,
buy a
that
house.
tracks like a
Same.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't
Well-
own a house, but I eat ass. Is that what we're?
Coincidentally, the only ones that can't afford a house are the ones that are eating ass on the internet. So, that tracks.
Maybe they're onto something. Fuck.
Yeah, I was actually looking
God
at
damn it.
houses out west where you guys are. And wow, is it so fucking cheaper
Come
out
see
there than it
us.
is? I was looking mostly at Oklahoma though, because
It's warmer,
houses
too.
are so cheap.
Ew,
in
no, gross.
Okay.
But
Delete
Oklahoma
the
City
pod. He
has
said
cheap
the O
houses.
word.
They have
He
the
Well,
said the
that's
cheapest
O
because they
word.
have high turnover.
Huh?
Hey, do
They
you
have
know
high
why Texas?
turnover.
Do you know why Texas doesn't fall into the Gulf of Mexico?
Why?
It's because Oklahoma fucking sucks.
It does suck, but that's why it's cheap. It's so cheap there. Like
That's what
it's
she
like
said.
I can get a 3-bedroom house there for what I'm paying for a 1-bedroom house here. You know what I mean?
I found
I have a
4-bedroom
3-bedroom house,
house.
with a
I found a 4-bedroom house in New Orleans for $85,000.
That's New
Now
Orleans though.
it has bars on all the windows and the door.
Yeah.
It was damaged by Katrina, but it's okay.
I mean,
No, I don't think it was Katrina that did this damage.
I had a friend who used to
Meth.
live in New Orleans, and she said that no matter where you go, the nicest places in New Orleans and the shittiest places, you never feel safe. There is not a safe place in New Orleans.
Yes,
You
that's
never
why
feel
it is the
safe.
greatest city on the face of the planet, and I will stand by that. It is my favorite city on earth.
My mom,
I
my mom hates it.
I fucking love New Orleans.
My mom hates it.
I've never been.
She didn't understand Mardi Gras. She's like a church lady, you know what I mean? She went to Mardi Gras, didn't understand
Oh,
what was
geez.
happening there, and let's just say
Who let her
she's
go to
never
Mardi
going
Gras?
back to New Orleans now. She was completely like thrown a loop. Like she
Who
did
told
not
her that was a
understand.
good idea?
Hey,
I don't
my
know.
mom
I
was a
think
preacher's wife who was born and raised in Louisiana, so you know.
she was already in
Different.
Louisiana for a family thing, so I guess she heard Mardi Gras was a thing. She was like, "Oh, I'll go see that," right?
Oh God.
And then
Wink.
and then like she gets there and it's just like, oh, absolutely not. No, no. She just like she hates New
Titties,
Orleans with
beads, and beer.
yeah, and then just trash everywhere, and it's just like she's never
So
had a
many
drink, a
titties.
sip of alcohol in her life. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
Oh,
it's
who
not
heard her say I'm going to go to Mardi Gras and did not stop her? Honestly.
my
Oh, I
sister
would
who
have
also
encouraged it.
my sister who
100%.
also doesn't drink. You know what I mean? So it's like it was the blind leading the blind on that one.
Yeah,
So
no,
I don't
I
even
would have
like.
Even
encouraged that
kids
a
know about Mardi
billion
Gras.
percent. I'd have been like, oh yes.
But she got to go experience it though. It's a life experience. Without digressing any further,
I wanna-
oh. Sorry,
Well,
I didn't even cut you.
No, I want to go to Mardi. I've never been, but I'm
I
afraid
haven't
to.
either.
bitch, let's fucking go to Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can
Like
drive
my
up
GPS says 8 hours, but we can totally make it in 5.
there.
Agreed. Wait, if I'm driving, make it 4.5. I got you.
You're not making it 4.5. Sorry.
We'll
So,
race.
I guess
Atchafalaya Bridge is always under construction. You're not making it in 4. 5 is like quick.
so. Well,
Yeah,
I guess since we have time, I guess let's get into our last topic since we have a little bit of time left.
Hold on one second before we do that. I do want
What's
to
the
branch
last
off because
topic?
we're talking about different players.
Uh huh.
How what is a way that you guys deal with wrapping up a storyline that like somebody left the table for one reason or another? How do you like wrap up their character storyline?
Move
Ideally,
on.
I mean, ideally, you want to if they have one
For
last
note
session in
taking
it.
purposes.
Forget
for-
they
for-
exist.
So if they have one last session in it, you can usually wrap it up with them. You go out in a blaze of glory somehow. That's always fun. But if they have to leave abruptly and you can't tie it up, I mean, you just tell like, hey, they went off back to their family at a family emergency like that. But like you kind of want to give them an epic way out so that it adds to the character's story. But like you
Fuck you,
like
Noah.
you just wanna wrap it up quickly and send them on their way. Like it's just like you don't need to, you know, you don't want to harp on it too long. You know what I mean? Like I guess it's like you shouldn't stress yourself out too much either. If that makes sense. Just kind of just like well, based on what their character was doing, what their motivations are, this is probably what they would be doing away from the group. That
Okay. I just want to make sure, like in my note taking, that I don't like kill off anybody's character that wants to come back.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they're all gone.
Okay. Good. Okay. Because my thought was to just like with our Fallout table to put them at that new settlement we're working on and just
yeah.
No, they are.
there as NPCs.
They went to go live on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, and you could do
Oh,
that
okay.
too.
They went
You could,
they went
yeah.
upstate. Got it.
Yeah, you could do that
Yeah,
too.
Kristen,
Just
how do
yeah.
you just move on from session to session and not fucking acknowledge anything that happened in the days before?
Maybe you don't get mad at the GM for not dating you. I'm just saying.
Oh shit. Oh god damn it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
mean,
fucking
you could
motherfucker.
totally just forget about it too and move on because like players really don't care. They really don't care. They're more interested in like what their character's story is and all that. Like,
Clearly, my table does, Joe.
oh really? Yeah.
So
I mean,
no, okay, so
Well, it's the
no, I'm
pictures that I wanted to do everybody with, and so that's
Yeah.
why
I
I was trying to put
know.
those together because I wanted to send it to everybody. So I
no,
just
uh,
need
so
to
I
who
Base
not to
members.
include. Got it.
flared.
flared.
No.
Baguette.
Oh god, I love inside jokes at the table. No, so like 100%. Like I'm totally giving Kristen shit right now, but that's just on like a Noah and Kristen level. But like both of us had the exact same approach to a player left the table, and then we still have sessions to do. What do?
Yeah.
You just fucking keep going, and you never mention that player again.
Yeah, you can do that. Like,
They're
it
dead.
doesn't matter. Like, because players really don't
Like,
care.
I have one of my best friends in the entire fucking world, right? Like my big epic campaign that I've told y'all about, right? He was there for 5 sessions. And then life happened,
Yeah.
right? Like it
'Cause
was
it,
it
like it
wasn't even a
does.
bad thing. It
Yeah.
was just life happened, and then Sunday afternoons at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time was an impossibility, right? Fucking he texts me, he's like, hey man, I'm really fucking having fun, like thank you for introducing me to this, but like just work has fucked my schedule and I can't do Sundays anymore, so like I can't play. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's okay man, don't worry about it, like no hard feelings, life happens and you need to work, so like
Yeah.
do work, please pay your bills, I don't want you to be homeless, right? And so fucking next Sunday rolls around and it's time to roll dice, and everybody's like, hey, yo, where's old boy? And I'm like, who? Fucking, I don't know what you want me to do here. Because, like, my thing, like, especially in that situation, right? Like,
yeah.
there's a good possibility that at one point, like, he could have a Sunday off and text me and be like, yo, if y'all are playing this weekend,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
anything to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Is it cool if I come back to the table? Absolutely. Come on. So I don't like want to kill your fucking character off,
Yeah.
right?
Unless they say they're
Now,
definitely not coming back, then it's like, okay, we'll kill you. And if they have an extra session and they know they're not coming back after the extra session, for sure kill that character off in a cool way. I've done that before. Like, okay, you're not coming back to this campaign. Next session is gonna be your last session. How do you want to go out? I had one character who nuked himself that way, and it was pretty cool.
right.
Saying,
But like,
nukes are
it's
cool,
just,
but
I don't know.
it doesn't matter. Like
There's,
players don't care. Like they don't care.
right. Like, clearly, the three of us have never even mentioned people that have left the fucking table,
No.
right? Outside of Matt's characters, because we all know Matt at one point is fucking coming back to the table.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's still involved. So yeah, his character didn't
right,
get killed off. Doesn't get killed off until
Yeah.
he says it's okay to kill it off.
Yeah.
right.
Because
Like
he's
that's
still part of the table.
yeah, that's different. Like we fill him in on the happenings and goings of the fucking
Yeah.
table, right? But like,
Because he's one of
not that
those
I'm
that life has happened.
right. Like, not that I'm not gonna fucking name names, but like the other person who's left our fucking table is just fucking gone, right? Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
not coming back, and nobody's fucking said a word about it. Like we
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
just went and retcon.
And I think that that's fine. Like it's
We fucking Ryan Johnson episodes
Yeah.
8. That motherfucker just
it's fine though.
Well,
Like it's
I don't
fuck
know
it.
if y'all have noticed. I don't know if y'all noticed that's how I deal with things. Like I have a broken foot that I have refused to acknowledge this whole time. We're just moving on. If it's inconvenient, we just ignore it.
well, and people are
Why
automatically
ignore
ignoring
Coping
it
skill,
though.
but not a good coping skill.
Because like if you only have a
That's why I
2 hour
ignore Chris.
session, like
He's
you're not.
unimportant.
If you have a 2 hour session, you're just not going to be worried about like what this character who's not around is doing. Where it's like, oh no, we have people to fuck over. Like we have stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like we have
Yeah.
drugs to steal. We don't have time to worry about this guy.
We got dragons to seduce,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah, yeah. Apparently,
I'm
chop
trying to
off their
fuck
you
dick
big
and turn it
bad.
into a club.
Yeah.
But
I'm,
you know,
I'm, I'm trying to sleep with your big bad and save the
Yeah.
party. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess that does that answer your question? I guess.
Yes.
I have one request for the two of you because I know Kristen would never honor it.
Person's back. What?
When I eventually get the boot from the table, remember me.
Oh,
No.
yeah, we're gonna let you go out in a
No,
big.
you're
You're
no,
gonna
no.
nuke yourself.
Yeah.
Nope. George's gonna no one speaks of him. You only truly
Yep.
die when no one remembers your
Just
name. So
just
here we go.
let Chicken Deluxe have one last hurrah, okay?
Okay. Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it
You can
happen.
see him on the edge of a cliff with a little death claw going, "Come here, death claw, come here, come here, come here."
You know. You use my demise to save the
No.
party. That's all I've been trying to do.
On the edge of the cliff, going, I can show you the world.
Then I look into it, eyes just wide open, charisma
And
just
Nugget shoots you in the head.
oozing, and then I grab the death claw by the hand and then slightly just pull it, like, embrace it as I fall to the ground. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a thing. That's how Lando would go out, 100%, undeniable.
So should we touch on our last topic since we got
Yes.
what 20. All right.
Yeah.
So last topic is
I already told you I
Criticals.
consensually non-consent.
criticals. So yay or nay? I know some people don't like rolling critical successes and failures. I love
Can you give us
criticals.
a little context on this, Joe?
You roll a nat 20, and something cool happens. Roll that 1, something horrible happens. How you go about it is different depending on the GM, pretty much, because most games will just say automatic success on a nat 20, automatic failure on a nat 1. But obviously, you got to add the flavor to it. I like to add a little spice to it. But
I would
Like
like
you
to.
failed, but how batch? Tell me how you failed.
I would like
Yeah.
to correct Joe, and this is the one time I'm going to correct Joe.
Oh, you're probably gonna correct me more than once.
On a nat 20, something cool happens. On a nat 1,
Something cool happens.
something also fucking cool happens.
yeah.
You might not like it,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Either way, something epic is
but-
gonna happen.
I have comments. On a
Okay,
nat
let me just put
one-
it to you this way. On a nat 20, you're topping. On a nat 1, you're a bottom.
You're a power bottom.
No, you're not a power bottom. You're just a bottom.
Yeah.
But no, I have now on a nat 20, I will kind of take the wheel on that as a GM. But with a nat 1, I will. Joe, you've seen me do it 100 times.
Yeah,
Put it in your hands.
Well, it's because I
about
keep
what
rolling
happens.
critical failures. I keep rolling critical.
But I won't make a critical failure my choice. I mean, like, because you have autonomy over your character. Please tell me what happened.
I don't know. It depends. I like if you look at Neon Lords or Dungeon Crawl Classics and stuff like that, they have tables where if you roll a nat 20, you did roll your critical table to see what happens with your critical. That's kind of fun because then it's like another game of chance. So like I had one player roll nat 20, then he rolled nat 20 again, and Lord Randy himself, Lord Randy be praised, came out and smited the enemy. That was pretty cool. But like if you roll a nat 1, then you roll a nat 1 again, you pretty much just like destroy yourself somehow. You know what I mean? Or a god destroy.
Right.
I think that's kind of cool too. Like I like tables for it. But otherwise, it depends on the game. I like how Savage Worlds does it because the raises can keep going up and up and up, so the criticals get interesting and it gives you more of a gauge for how to narrate it.
Hey, Corbin.
And-
Corbin.
And for the for failures, it's just like you can. The only thing you can't re-roll in Savage Worlds is failures because the failures are the most interesting part of the game. So I mean, I don't always ask them to narrate. It depends on the situation. Like, if there's something where it's going to really detrimentally hurt them, I want their input. It just depends on the situation. But it should always be interesting because you only get those rolls on D20 5% of the time. So it should be interesting.
I just want y'all to be happy, and I want y'all to have autonomy over your characters. That's all I care about.
All I wanted out of the Fallout game was a fucking junk jet, and I got it. I got a lesser weight junk jet. And I got to explain to my sister the other day when we were riding back from Atlanta. I was telling her about our game, and we were
See,
talking
I'm
about
kind and
frogs.
benevolent.
So she
Bitch.
She said that her boyfriend had thrown a frog. They yeeted it. And I said, "Do you know?" And
Well,
I learned how aerodynamic frogs can be because we had to look it up for an episode one night. We were doing our session and somebody had carried a bag of captured frogs and I had a junk jet. So we needed to know how aerodynamic they were, what kind of damage they could do to this group of bad guys. And she was like, "You seriously did that?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
our session went. Is we used a junk jet full of frogs and just took
Yeah.
out the whole thing, and it was glorious.
Was glory. That was a good.
It was
I
glorious, and a
yeah.
fabulous ending as well. A very
I
happy
mean,
ending.
yeah, it was a good half. That was a good. So for me, it's just like I guess on the autonomy thing, I will narrate failures, but generally it's like I'll ask them what like I always ask them like what are you doing before they roll, like so it's just like what are you trying to do, and then I'll give them the most reasonable failure based on what they're trying to do. And also I might give them something for it. Like a lot of times I like to have the players fail forward, like they fail, but something else interesting happens that moves the story forward. I like failing forward.
Isn't that how Eddie lost his arm? Was on a
Yeah,
fail trying to
yeah,
jump?
yeah.
Because I
Like I
went over
always
that
fail
with her
forward.
too,
Yeah, I
and I
always
was
fail
like, "Yeah,
forward.
oh yeah," and
Yeah,
I mean,
so that's what I told her. I was like,
listen.
"Yeah,
I,
it was
so here's the
awesome."
thing. Like, critical successes are fun and amazing, and they're a good time. Normally, and this probably sounds fucking stupid, but like a critical success is going to be for the fun of the person rolling the dice.
yeah. Failure is for everyone else.
A critical fail is going to be fun for fucking everyone at the table.
Yeah,
Case in point,
yeah,
at the 7C table, right? When Saturday is fucking back up against the wall, has no way out of this fucking situation whatso fucking ever, right? And our dumbass in chief over here behind the screen goes, "Okay, we've got. I'm gonna need you to come over here and roll a fucking d20 to see what happens." Noah rolls a fucking 1. And I'm like, "Oh God. All right." So Kristen takes over. Saturday's now even more fucked up, like literally on the fucking brink of death, right? And another player comes in and says, "I'm going to go help Saturday." Well, Saturday's kind of fucked at the moment, so it's going to be contested roll time. Like, and I'm going to need multiple successes if you're going to help Saturday, right? And then so it's like, okay, she rolls what she roll? A 5, an 8, and a 12, I
3. She
think.
rolled a 3. Yeah.
Yeah, she rolled a 3, right? So then Kristen tells me, she's like, "Okay, well, you have to roll 3 dice, right?" The first fucking one I roll is a failure. It's a fucking 1. Like back to back nat ones. Never fucking more have I needed it in my entire life, but it pops. And it's like, okay,
I don't know how
I
to get the
have
rolls like that.
failed critically, but Captain Winter has succeeded, right? But in my failure, it's not only has it made the story progress, it brings the fucking table in on the fucking joke, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because not only am I fucking Tommy Two-Tisms at the 7C table, but I'm also Captain Nat 1 now, right? So like, if it's a oh shit, we need somebody to roll low, do we want to let Noah roll? Right? I got
Right?
that low number.
That shit
Like,
came in
listen,
clutch though.
Yeah.
listen, I be rolling my nuts off at this Fallout table. All right, 7C, I can't get shit to hit.
See,
I've
Eddie is the one of the crit
yeah.
fails
I
for our
crit fail
tables.
all the time, which is fine because I like it because it creates a problem. And what's tabletop if not solving problems? I mean, that's pretty much it.
I am a free therapist for you guys. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I need another therapist apparently now. Need more therapists. So Jen, run a game, please.
Oh,
No,
here's a
run a
win.
game.
Here's a win. Are you ready? This is the final row for the blanket I'm
Oh.
working on. This is row
Oh,
9.
looks good.
So now all I have to do is put all these rows together and put a border on it, and it will be auctioned off Halloween weekend.
I
Uh-oh.
love it. Hey, can you make me a Halloween blanket, like a little one?
For next Halloween?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
You
talk
got
about
it.
it later.
I have an idea
Oh.
of granny square skulls.
I like it.
Oh, I was thinking red light district.
I like it.
So, what was I
Hey,
gonna say?
Joe, I have a request for a topic for next week.
Uh-huh. Dude,
Uh,
put it in the chat
put it in
though
the
too,
chat,
because I
but
will forget. 'Cause ADHD.
I did, but what do you think about predictable players versus unpredictable players?
That's fine. Yeah. Predictable players need not apply. Unpredictable all the way. You know what I mean? Like,
But
like,
is
I-
being
I-
unpredictable their predictability?
Jen, you stole the words right out of my mouth because I was about to ask Kristen,
don't know.
am I predictable or unpredictable?
You are
All of-
predictable at being
You're
unpredictable.
predictably unpredictable.
I likes to bring the ruckus. Is all I'm saying. You know, that's just it. Like,
Hey!
like I believe in bringing the ruckus. And every single player in our group brings the ruckus at some point. That's how that's how our group rolls. You bring the ruckus. I mean, like,
Oh, show.
you know, like shooting frogs out of a junk jet is the ruckus. I hate to break it to you. That's not predictable.
It's
But-
bringing the ruckus. It's true.
I think we should probably end it on that, unless you guys have anything else to talk about. We got a lot covered this time around.
Yeah, so first off, the Doctor Who set from Magic is fucking ass cheeks, except for that Display Dinosaurs card. But that goes in fucking green. And who the fuck plays green?
Boo.
Oh yeah, Scrubs.
Boo.
Also, Joe, I
Blue all
caved.
the way, all blue.
Joe, I caved. I hope you will still respect me after I show you what I'm about to show you.
What is that?
I may or may not have bought a fucking sliver deck.
Yeah,
And so
it's fine.
I know
it's
I
fine.
am now
I
a-
respect you.
I
It's,
know
they're
I am
powerful.
now
It's
I am now a filthy no skill
yeah.
loser who does not understand or can spell the word strategy type of player.
When fucking
Normally we
slivers
call
came
those
out,
mono blue.
fuck
Yeah,
you.
normally we call those mono
Fuck
blue,
you.
but I refer to them as slivers or dragon players.
When those slivers came out, man, like back in the day, that was the most annoying time to be a Magic player because everyone immediately had a sliver deck. Like it was just nothing but sliver decks. It's like, you fuck this. Like that's just they were so annoying. They still are apparently. Apparently they still are pretty. But we'll talk about that
Also-
or our other show, Swing for Lethal.
Also, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, are now the fucking WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions.
Can I be excused?
And they
Sorry,
they
Kristen.
came to the Fastlane press conference completely fucking shit faced. Like live
Sorry,
and on
Kristen.
camera, like, listen, we got drunk in the bus on the way over here to the hotel. This fucking interview is gonna be shit.
Well, thank you to the one viewer who watched us today. We will be back next
yeah.
week. Yeah. Anybody want to give us an outro?
And I will have an answer about my foot, maybe. Hopefully it's not broke.
Hopefully it isn't. Jen, do you
An
want to do an
outro?
outro, or do you want Noah to do an outro?
Outro. No, take the outro.
I was always more of an any guy.
Gross.
Ew, no, Audis are gross. Are you kidding?
Oh, sorry about you in
Ew.
general. Sorry.
What about in
Oh,
betweenies?
my bad.
Ew.
Huh?
In between.
In
In
betweenies.
betweenies? I fuck with it.
The fuck
I
is-
I mean that's what I call them. If it's not an Audi, not an innie, it's like an in betweenie.
Right. No, 100%.
Hey,
What the fuck am I doing? Oh yeah, outro. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Degenerates with Dice Monday night RPG talk show / wrestling / Magic the Gathering / Rhea Ripley is my mommy. And for
Flash
Joe,
therapy.
Jen, Kristen, and the internet's favorite dipshit, we will see you again next Monday, 7
Oh.
p.m. Central Standard Time, because that is the only time zone that is real and effective in
8
the
p.m.
world. The
Eastern.
rest of them do not matter.
8
And
p.m.
Oklahoma
Eastern.
sucks balls, and not in the
Nice.
cool progressive way either. Love you. Bye.
Night.
Jesus Christ.